next I'm gonna try to show you how to sew your children's ribbon and elastic on their pointe shoes. So when you got their pointe shoes home, they probably just came empty like this, and the ribbons and the elastic came separate. So you can actually start with the elastic if you want. I don't have any spare elastic, but here's the elastic on my old pair of pointe shoes. So what you're gonna do on the new pair of pointe shoes is actually have your dancer put that pointe shoe on their foot, and then you would take elastic out of the roll, and you would just stretch it from one side of their pointe shoe to the other side of their pointe shoe. Do you have it close enough to my foot to where they can kind of see? And you're gonna do it pretty close to that seam that's in the pointe shoe. You're probably gonna put it right behind that seam, and you don't want it super loose to where it's falling off, but you also don't want it super tight to where it's pressing down into their skin. It would just be like a normal piece of elastic on any type of shoe. So once you get it measured from one side of your child's foot to the other, you would just snip off the pieces that you needed, and then simply just sew back and forth to put it in the pointe shoe. It's not pretty. I did these myself. I mean, it's really pretty ugly in there. You just sew it on both sides. Something you do want to be careful about is not to sew through this piece right here, because this is what holds the elastic, the drawstring that's going to tighten your pointe shoe for your dancer. So you can go under and you can go above, but don't actually go through that piece right there. That way the drawstring and the elastic still works. Then once you get the elastic shown on the pointe shoe, you can move on to your ribbons. They may come in 2 pieces, they may come in 1 large piece. So there's a couple different ways you can do this, but if it's 1 big piece, you are at least gonna have to cut it in half. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this ribbon in half. And one way to do it is the JoJo style. And the JoJo style is to take 1 long piece of ribbon in one of your shoes, and what you're actually gonna do is you're gonna measure that with the center of your dancer's foot. So just get it pretty even there, and then just slide their foot into their pointe shoe to figure out where it needs to be, and then you can just kind of mark it with a little marker where it would be on each side of that ribbon. So just put a little mark and put a little mark, and then they can slide their foot out, and you just leave the ribbon inside. And you're not actually gonna cut it, you're just gonna leave it underneath your dancer's foot. And then you would just take your needle and thread, and you would attach your ribbon to each side of the pointe shoe. And this is a good way also, that way in case your ribbon comes untied and the ribbon detaches from the shoe itself, the ribbon's still gonna be secured to your dancer's foot, since it's all still just one unit. Now, another option that you would have, which is how I used to do my shoes, is I would actually cut this piece of ribbon in half again and do 2 separate pieces. So the alley style is to just cut this piece of ribbon in half again, and you're gonna have 2 pieces for 1 shoe. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take the pointe shoe and fold the heel of it forward, and right where that crease is in the pointe shoe is just where you would insert that ribbon. Just right there in that crease. And that's about how far back you would want it. And then you could just take your needle and thread and go in and out, back and forth, or you could loop it up and around. You could go through that side, it would come out over here, you would go up over top of the elastic, back through the ribbon, and then you would stick it back through again underneath the elastic, pull it through, flip it, go over top of the elastic, and back through the ribbon. And what it looks like on a pair that's already sewn, like the elastic, it is not pretty, but it's just back and forth through there. Just back and forth through there. If you have a sewing machine, you can do it on a sewing machine. If your moms or mother-in-laws or grandmas know how to sew, just hand it to them and make it their homework task. So if y'all get stuck, just ask questions under this video or shoot us a text message and we'll help you, but we promise it's not hard. Jordan and I used to sew our own all the time.